A few weeks ago, we started working on this countryside area, and honestly, I've been dying to work on it ever since. So today, we're going to add to it by building a cozy cottage right behind me. And I have gathered up all the materials here, lots of different colors, including a lot of white that I had to go to the Pale Garden for. And without further ado, let's build this cottage. Now, before we talk too much about the build here, I just want to point out that this was heavily inspired and influenced by a build I saw from ted146.builds.mc over on Instagram. So I will leave their links down below. Be sure to give them a follow and check it out. They have some really cool inspiring builds, some really out there stuff using like colors and whatnot that I really enjoy. So I would highly recommend checking them out. And of course, later today when we do the interior, I will be putting a credit book in here for them. But yeah, I absolutely love this build. I think it's like what I tried to do in my rendition of this here, this little cottage, is just really add in some like wild colors. Like, yes, obviously we have some more shading across the front here, right, with like the basalt, and it kind of gets darker as we go. But then even like on the sides, trying to bring out some of these like blues and the whites and the grays and browns. And then you can even see back here, we have some like different little pops of color with like some of the like warped wood here. And I think the biggest thing with this is definitely the signs, which kind of like, it makes it look busy, but it helps tie everything together. And I mean, there's definitely like a little bit of block vomity-ness to this, but I kind of really like how it turned out. And I think this is kind of, in the style that I want to go for the cottage over here, or even the countryside, because we take a quick trip over here. You can see a lot of similarities to the horse stables. So like, for instance, we have this same kind of roof, right, with the copper roof. A similar gradient where we have, darker colors like grays, more monotone things, but we also have stuff like the clay that's incorporated in the other build. And then the big thing here is the wooden signs, almost to like show that this is older and falling apart. Oh, and also the same kind of chimney style as we have over here. So lots of similarities, trying to continue that theme, but also trying to bring in all of these different colors and, tie everything together a little bit with these signs. And it gives it this very like, I don't know, old, kind of cozy, but very like run down kind of feel. Now, we are going to be doing an interior for this. I haven't really planned that out, but I do also want this to have a function. And I think for that, we're going to have to do like a little basement here. But for now, it's going to stay blank because I think what I want to do next is get this all connected up, right? Last episode we went through, we added pathways to everything. I don't want to just all of a sudden have a build that is not connected to the rest of the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another time lapse. Okay, guys, and the pathways are all done here. Everything is all connected up. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I mean, pretty standard, right? Especially if you saw the last episode, but I tried to make these, a little more windy. They're kind of coming down this steep hill here, continuing that, muddy brick mushroom kind of gradient. And so two different ways. So if you want to go up to the city a little bit quicker, you can. Or if you want to go out to the rest of the countryside, you can go out this way. But the one thing that I wanted to show you that I didn't really show off, I guess, in that time lapse there is this little retaining wall, which I really, really like. I'm using the tough brick here because I think the tough feels a little bit older, but no mossy variants of the tough yet. Which what's up with that? Give us a mossy tough. But we got a little bit of mossy. What is that, mossy stone brick mixed in with a little bit of pale moss, some regular tough, and it just kind of looks like this wall is like decaying, right? Because we have this part up here, which I think is pretty awesome. And then the wall kind of comes down, and then in the middle here, you can see like maybe where it used to be, but it's kind of all, I guess decayed's not the word. It's all destroyed and it's all broken down, right, over time. And then when we get closer to this little lava pool, which I don't know if I'm going to keep that here, but it's going to stay for now. Maybe we'll put like a tree or like flowers or something, who knows. But yeah, as you get closer to the lava pool, you can see where the wall kind of comes back in. And I also think here, if I just go ahead and fly up to the top here, like this is a pretty cool view. You can like kind of see, you get the intrigue, like you can see the smoke, but then when you come around the corner here, yeah, now you can kind of fully see it from the wall here. So this is just another, idea or example of trying to like play around with the sight lines. Although I don't love how like jagged this is. This feels a little too straight to me. Maybe we'll change that up. But yeah, you can kind of see now as you're coming down, you get a better view of the cottage. And yes, this still desperately needs an interior, but I was thinking, since this sets like, I feel like this stands out a little bit too much from the environment, right? There's not a whole lot going on over here. I figured maybe we would go ahead and plant a field. So I'm thinking maybe we start down, I don't know, close-ish to this tree. And yeah, maybe along the pathway here, we just kind of throw in some of our leaves. And we just go ahead and make a little field here. So I think that's something I want to start doing more and more in this area. Is just adding in some little fields, and yeah, maybe it'll. So yeah, maybe the field will just cut off like here. I don't know. Maybe it cuts in a little closer there. Break a few of these blocks, and then just have it be like this big kind of circle. And then, who knows, yeah, maybe we'll put like another field over there. Yeah, I feel like I'm fairly happy with that shape. Kind of leaves room to do some more stuff up here, maybe like a custom tree or, a wheat field or something, and then we can kind of put some other fields in and around here. Little trick I picked up from watching Whip here, but instead of just placing, a random, bit of water here and it kind of sticks out, it looks a little too blue, is using these mangrove roots and waterlogging them serves the same purpose, right? So I can still go ahead here and hoe all this ground or till all this ground, and it's not going to dry up because, well, it's still waterlogged. But yeah, now we just don't have this big gaping blue hole, I guess, in the ground. So little pro tip for you guys. See, you stick around, you learn something new. And I have decided that this is going to be a beetroot field because I like how the beetroot looks when it's like fully grown, right? You get a little bit of that red, but also just this more like a vibrant kind of green. So I think we'll definitely have a good blend of crops over here. Not as condensed as the farmlands necessarily. Maybe a little more spread out. But I do think it would be pretty cool to have a lot of crops covering around here. And, maybe some more windmills and stuff, kind of like we have in the farmlands. And that is the field complete. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I think it'll look even cooler too when we have a whole bunch more fields around here. But with that being said, I have put it off for way too long, so it is finally time to do the interior of this building right behind me. And at last, the interior is all done. So I definitely wanted to make this feel like very lived in, right? Very busy. So they got a lot of paintings on the walls here, a lot of like pots and stuff on shelves. And I think definitely this is like this person definitely has a green thumb. In fact, I think we might add some more fields over to the side next to the build eventually here. But they definitely have a green thumb, lots of storage. And then we have this beautiful, kind of hard to see there, this beautiful all natural wood cabinetry and countertops and whatnot. And I thought it was cool to use the chiseled bookshelves. I think that's what they're called. But basically, we could store stuff in here. Maybe like they have like pots and pans, or even like recipe books and stuff like that. And then some more crystals, flowers, plants, and a little brewing stand, maybe to make like their coffee or something in the morning. Who knows? And then kind of continuing with like the lush green lively theme, they have a green bed, and then they have like a little mossy carpet here with some more plants and whatnot. Then if we continue upstairs, this is supposed to be pretty dark, but I do have some like glow lichen, and maybe it doesn't quite give the effect I want, where it's like the light is like calling you over here to this lectern, just because these blocks are so much lighter in the middle. But oh well, I think it works well enough. And this is the credit book I had mentioned before. So again, right, this was heavily based on a design from Ted146 Builds MC over on Instagram. Definitely go check them out. They have a lot of really inspiring stuff, some really cool builds. So yeah, wanted to make sure not only to mention that in the video, but again to put that in our world. So to give everybody a place, whether we are inspired by them or kind of recreate one of their builds. And then down here at the bottom, what is this? Oh, great question, valued viewer. This is a grass and fern farm. So the idea, oh, and I made some enchanted shears here. But the idea is there are 16 little spots here. All of these are filled up with bone meal. And then, yeah, I can just kind of double. If I do that, I can kind of double my grass. So now if I go back in and fill this in, this is basically just a super duper easy way for me to get grass quickly without having to like go out and break a bunch of it in the world. So maybe that is quicker, but I do kind of like leaving the like natural grassy areas. So I think that this is going to be a cool little compromise. And this works with ferns as well. So I can do this to get ferns, which is going to be super helpful because, well, I mean, ferns, usually you have to go kind of far away, or there's a spruce area not too far from here, but still, I don't want to waste durability on my elytra, so yeah. And I am trying to give all of my builds, function as well as form, so including the ender chest, storage for this, and then even upstairs here, like if I get caught here for a night and I just want to, spend the night. Oh, just like that. Wow, that worked. I didn't know it was nighttime. But yeah, if I get caught here and want to spend the night, or if I need, things for my ender chest, or if I need to smelt some stuff, I guess I could put coal in here. Oops. But, trying to give them function as well as being pretty awesome and building the lore of the world. I am going back and forth on this door because I know I want this. If we walk away a little bit, I know I want this to be very like colorful and whatnot. But I've been playing around with the idea of doing this with like the pale wood, and it kind of brings out the chimney a little bit better. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and switch that. Yeah, I think the white works a little better, especially with the chimney, and just kind of ties it together. I mean, we do have a lot of colors already, so this just makes it feel better as a whole. And for those of you guys who have been around for a little while, you might remember up in the stables here, all the way up, we had, kind of come up with this like ideas for the countryside book, where we wanted to add in a fern farm, a grass farm, and a couple other things here. So we do still have some ideas going forward. And I don't know if we'll add ruins today. We'll see how much time I have, how motivated I am here. But we did officially come up with the fern and grass farm. So I'm going to go ahead and check that off. And yeah, we'll keep going. Okay, nice. Making some good progress. Yeah, I thought this field was a little bit lonely, so I added in a couple more paths and a couple more fields here. So we have some carrots for the horses and some potatoes just for whatever aesthetics, I guess. And yeah, as you can see, these paths, right, they all kind of connect up. If we look at the little map here, yep, everything's looking good. Maybe we'll add some more fields in the future here. But I think at some point, at least, probably not today, I'd like to add in a couple like little docks and maybe we can have a boat or two here. Because I do think like for as much as this is kind of like a cozy little cottage, it also kind of looks like it was made with like ship parts or something in a way. I think because we have all these signs and stuff, like it does feel very fitting, like on the edge of the sea or the edge of the ocean here. In fact, oh, maybe we'll do a lighthouse at some point here, like maybe out here. I have a plan for this area, but I mean, it could include a lighthouse. That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, I don't know. That would make sense with the ships and stuff. So, and I do want to do a custom tree probably next episode though, because I am out of time. So I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. I know I did. This was a lot of fun to make, super cool and very unique build, and I'm just happy to be working on the countryside a little bit more here. So thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Chicken Jackie.